Hey, how's it going everyone? It is Cody here from Gold City Ventures. And in this video, I'm going to show you some of the main differences between Canva Pro and regular Canva, and then you can make the decision, is Canva Pro right for you? So I'm on my regular Canva account. This is not a pro account. You can see at the bottom left, it's prompting me to go pro. But I'm just going to walk you through some of the limits, some of the limitations that you might hit with a regular Canva account, and then I'll switch over to my pro account and we can walk through all those features. So all your designs, this is just all the designs you have in Canva. Brand kit, this is something that is reserved for Canva Pro members only. So brand logos, brand colors, brand fonts, you won't be able to upload or add any of those without a Canva Pro account. Creating a team, this is also reserved for Canva Pro members, and you can actually be part of a team with just a regular Canva account, but you cannot run and manage your own team. You do have access to folders when it comes to designs. So if you have designs, you could have like invitations in one folder, you could have calendars in another folder, whatever sections or subsections you want to break your designs into, you can do that with these folders, but you will not be able to have element folders. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go into one of my designs here, and then we can look at some of the design limitations we have. So design limitations, right off the bat, one of the first things we see is this resize with a crown next to it at the top. With Canva Pro, you can resize to pretty much anything you want and it will make a copy. You could resize from, it's prompting me here, a Facebook size to Twitter, to Instagram, to LinkedIn. You can also just resize from a 5x7 to a 4x6. It's really, really useful if you're someone who is creating a bunch of different size things. So for my example, I create a lot of printables. It might be useful for me to make a calendar in full-size paper, 11 by 8.5. Or I might want to scale this down to 7x5, and that's really, really easy with this resize feature. Now some other limitations. So when it comes to elements, there are regular elements and pro elements. So if I go into elements here, I'm just going to type in flower because I have a lot of flowers here. You'll see that some of these say free. These are the free elements that Canva provides, and then these are the pro elements. So if I click on this, it will have this little Canva symbol on it. You can see the word Canva, and I'll have to pay to remove watermarks by going pro. So I'm going to get rid of that. But on my pro account, I'll have access to all this stuff. Text. So we won't get into this too deep right now, but you can add your own fonts, and that's only available with Canva Pro, like I mentioned before. Music and videos, not going to touch those right now, but there are a few limitations when it comes to regular Canva versus Canva Pro. I'll just click on them quickly. So you can see that we do have some music and video options. Some of them are free, but some of them might be protected by Canva Pro. We have all these different backgrounds, same thing. Let me move off of here. Here's one that's going to be a little bit different. So uploads. So you can drag an image from your desktop, or you can drag an image from maybe a download somewhere that you bought images or elements. And the cool thing about Canva Pro is that you can put them into folders or element folders. So let's say, for example, real example, I bought these flowers from Creative Market to put on my printable. And I can actually separate them into folders, and I could put like all the flower designs in one folder. I could buy a bunch of little sports icons. I could put them in another folder. Unfortunately, you can't do that with regular Canva. And I'm going to go over to my pro account in 1 second. It's going to show you a few more things you might be missing out on here. So one of the really cool things, and I'll show you this, is when you click on an image, you'll have all these awesome effects. So I can click effects here. And now this is my favorite effect, is background remover. When you have an image of say 2 people with mountains in the background, I'll show you exactly how to do this. You can use this background remover, which is unfortunately a pro feature only, to remove the background. And there are some other free tools you can use, but Canva does a really nice job with this. All this other stuff you have full access to, the filters, adjust, crop, flip. One of the last things I want to touch on that you will not have access to, so if you go to download, this download button here, if you download as a PNG, you can download this with a transparent background, meaning that anything you see that's white will just be transparent. So if you want to throw a design that you make in Canva on top of another design, you probably don't want the white box around it. So you can actually make it transparent with Canva Pro. You can also compress files for lower quality. So if you run a website and you don't want this massive image file, whether it's a JPEG or a PNG, you can actually compress the file for lower quality so it's a smaller size and loads a lot faster. Now, there's also this animation. I haven't messed around with this too much, but you can make animated movies or GIFs or GIF, however you say it, in Canva Pro. One of the last things is sharing templates. So if I go over here to share, now it's saying I can share with people, share a link to edit. If I click this, I can share a link to edit. That's fine. Someone else can go edit this and it will actually change on my design too. I'll have to literally share this with someone else. I could share a link to view. I could show someone this. The one thing I don't have access to is share a link to use. It's a template. So if I want to send this calendar design to someone else and I wanted them to use it as a template, I don't want my original thing that I sent them to get altered in any way, shape, or form, then I could share as a template with Canva Pro. So these are some of the limitations you might hit with the regular Canva account. Now let's navigate over to Canva Pro and look at how we actually implement these features. All right, so I'm in my Canva Pro account now, and let's go through some of those same features that I showed you we did not have access to in the regular Canva account. So brand kit. I have multiple different brands. So I like having brand logos. You can have multiple brand colors. You can sort them by their hex codes. You can add brand fonts. You can see here I have hundreds of fonts that I've uploaded myself, and I use these regularly in my printable designs and designs I'm making on Canva. So this is really helpful for me. If you're someone who just quickly makes a new design and you want to make sure that, hey, I want this rectangle to be the exact yellow that fits with my brand, or I want this circle to be the exact blue that my brand is, then this brand kit might be super useful, and it's really useful if you're always adding logos. Like say you're making Pinterest images and you always have your logo on the bottom. Instead of fishing for that upload of your logo, you can just go to your brand kit real quick, boom, put your logo right at the bottom of that design. Now teams, this is something I mentioned you won't have access to. You can be a member if you're a Canva regular user, but as a Canva Pro user, you can actually put together a team. So these are some of my team designs. I just did this for demonstration purposes. So anyone who's on my team will have access to these designs. So that other account could have access to these designs. This is just a regular design. This is a template. You can see it's missing the January here. There's also folders you can have within the teams. So if I create a team, this is my team, Cody Berman's team. I can throw logos in here. I can put team templates in here. That's this thing I was just showing you here. Let me go back to my team. I can go back to templates. This is the template I was just showing you. People, this is where you can add people. You can get an invite link, or you can enter people's emails addresses. So this is my Canva Pro account. This is the one we were just on before, the Canva account I have for my other business. And you can see they're a member of my team. And I can also change their role to a template designer, administrator, or remove from team. The last thing is groups. So this is kind of subgroups within your team. So you could have a team of say 20 people for your small business, but maybe there's only 4 people that work in the marketing department. So maybe you want just certain people to have access to certain templates, and that's where groups come in. If I go and build out, some cool marketing template, something that I want to use for Twitter or Instagram or whatever, I could share it with my specific marketing group. And so you can create the group, you can designate which members are a part of that group, and then it makes it super easy when you're sharing those designs. Now, folders, same thing as before, except you'll see that I'll have access to element folders here, which is different than having design folders. So again, design folders would be like, okay, I have calendars, I have invitations, I have, birthday cards. Element folders are actually having different elements in different folders. So if I download elements from online somewhere like Creative Market, or design elements like these watercolor flowers, drop shadow templates, I can have all these elements in separate folders. This will make a lot of sense once we actually get into the design, and I'll show you how this all works. So that's pretty much everything here on the main screen. Let's go into a design. So I'm just going to go into the same design actually, so this purple calendar example. And let's see some of these cool Canva Pro features. All right, so the first thing we went to last time was this elements. And actually, the first thing we did was resize. So if I go to resize, now you can see it's 11 by 8.5. And I could resize this in anything I want. I could resize it into a Facebook post. I could do a custom size. I could do 7 by 5 inches. And all I have to do is click copy and resize. Boom, we have a copy and resize version of this. You might have to move things around a little bit because some things might be off scale. As you can see, there's a little more white space on the left and right hand sides, but it's a pretty awesome feature. It makes it a lot easier to kind of customize the size and do things like that. So again, that's a resize feature up here. Just click copy and resize, super easy. All right, and the next thing is elements. So if I go and type in flower again, you'll see I have these free elements. Here's some free elements. So this one says free. This one says free, but you can see now I have these pro elements. I have the crown, it says pro. I can click on these and it does not have that Canva symbol sitting in the middle of it. So this is a nice thing that I could add to my design. All right, text. Now you can see I have my uploaded text. So if I want to let's say click on this text and hit the drop down for text, Now you can see I have all my different uploaded fonts. So this is the uploaded fonts section, and you can see all of the different fonts I've uploaded here. Pretty useful. All right, and one of the most important things, one of my favorite things about Canva Pro is the folders section. So if you're using just regular Canva, of course you can just upload stuff. You can upload different images and you can use these images as you want, but it's really hard to kind of keep track. If you have 100 images in the upload section, trying to find that one image that you uploaded 90 images ago is a lot of scrolling and looking through these. But if you have folders, and if you have folders that say, okay, I want to access my purple and yellow watercolor flowers, which is exactly what these are in this design, I can go and just find all of them. I can click them, add them to my design. Super easy. Makes life a lot easier if you're doing branded things like this. If you're doing something with a theme, if you're selling a printable, if you're designing something for your company, there's a lot of uses for these different types of folders. Now, let's get up into actually some of the things that we looked at before, like the effects. So, oh yeah, I promised you, I will show you the background remover tool. So I added this. This is a picture of my girlfriend and I. Let's pretend we want to throw this in the corner here. Now, this does not look very good as just with the trees in the background and stuff, but it might look pretty cool if I remove all that. And with Canva, you can do that with the click of a button. So effects. Now you can see we have all these effects that we had before. We can do all these strange things, add Arctic or radiate or all these different things. I'm not going to do that. Undo. So let's go to effects, background remover. It'll take just a second to kind of figure out what's background and what is front and center. And let's just give this a few more seconds, and then we should have a completely removed background and something that you might want to use in your design. So Canva is loading. I can hear my computer steaming up here. Perfect. Awesome. So now, obviously, this is not a great example of when you'd use this, but if you wanted to add something like this, have your own personal calendar, maybe I want to get rid of this list, and I want to add this little picture in the corner and print this out for every single month, I can do something like that. And the background remover tool makes this all possible. Super powerful, super easy to use. Some of the last things that I showed you before is the exporting. So with this, I can export. Now I have this PNG. I can change the size. So this is like 1x. I could scale this up to 2x this size. You can see the pixels are changing. I can export with a transparent background. I can compress the file for lower quality and faster load time if I'm putting this on a website. Let me just show you the transparent background and show you what I mean. So I'm going to just download this, and then I'll open the downloaded file to show you exactly what transparent background means. It's different than the background remover tool because that's just removing the background from that specific image. So you can only use that background remover tool with a photo element or an image icon. You won't be able to remove the background with a piece of text or with an element or anything like that. But you can remove the background from any picture, and it's really powerful. It's one of the most powerful background remover tools that I've used. There are some other free ones online. I know Lunapic and remove.bg come to mind, but this is another really powerful one. Okay, so here is the calendar with the background removed. I just opened this up from my downloads, but just so I can show you exactly what this means, I'll actually upload this to Canva, and you can see me place it on top of the image we're just working with, and then we can see that the background is removed. So let's go back to Canva, and now let's go to upload an image or video, and I am going to go to my downloads, the purple calendar example, and that image number 1 is the one we were just messing with. Perfect. And it should just take a second to upload. I can click on this, and boom, you can see that the background is gone. If the background was not gone, then you'd have just a white box around this. But I can use this. Obviously, this is not a good example. A calendar on a calendar is kind of like Inception. But if you make a logo or something like that where you need the background gone, this is a really useful tool to be able to export with the background gone. So like I mentioned before, now we have access to the transparent background, compress file, lower quality. We can change the size here. And the last thing that's kind of cool, it's a newer feature, I've just been messing around with it as of late, is this animation, animated movie or GIF. So you can see, you can do all these different styles, but you can kind of watch this in the corner and you can see like, okay, this will pan in, this will be a block, this will slide in. There's a lot of different things you can do. I'm not sure exactly what you'd use this for. I actually haven't used it in my business yet, but it's cool that maybe you could have this little animated GIF on Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest or whatever. It's just another cool feature. And one of the last things, so I'm kind of going in the same order as I did on Canva regular with Canva Pro here, is the share. So I can share this, and instead of just sharing to edit where someone else can literally change my design, I can share a link to use as a template. So I can just copy this link, they'll give me a link, and then if I will just paste this link, boom, it says a template created by Cody Berman was shared with you, start designing now. This is the template I just shared with myself, and you could do this with anyone. Anyone else has Canva, you can give them a template and you can have them start designing with that template. So it's another really cool feature of Canva. And actually as a team owner here, so if I want people on my team to either A, have editing power, B, have viewing power, or not shared. So if I don't want anyone on my team to be able to touch this design or even see this design, I could go to not shared. I could just give them viewing access so they could see the design and not touch it, or I can give them editing access. Now this is different than a template. A template, someone doesn't have to be on your team. You can just send this to, Joe Schmo down the street who has Canva on their computer or even has a Canva account, and they can go and use your template. So that is pretty much everything when it comes to Canva Pro. There are a lot of really cool things. It depends on the scale and exactly what you're doing with your business, but for me, Canva Pro is a no-brainer, and you guys can check out the special link we have down below where you can get Canva Pro at the cheapest price possible. Again, I'm Cody from Gold City Ventures, and I'll catch you in the next video.